Hi students, welcome to Veranda Race, and in today's session we are going to practice questions as we normally do at 11 o'clock. So welcome to this session, welcome to Veranda Race. So let us start the session, students. So first of all, we have common errors, error spotting questions. So we'll solve those questions. Then we'll move to parajumbles, then rearrangements and some fillers. So let us start the session. Well, on the inflation front, the headline consumer price index combined has been above the average inflation of 4% as mandates in the flexible inflation targeting FIT. Okay. So this is the question, students. On the inflation front, the headline consumer price index, that is CPIC combined, has been above the average inflation of 4% as mandated. As mandated in means as made compulsory. As has been above the average inflation of 4% as it has been made compulsory. So it should be mandated. As mandated in the flexible inflation targeting FIT. Okay, so the error was in part C. It should have been mandated and not mandates, because I'll explain you how. On the inflation front, the headline consumer price index, that is CPIC, has been above the average inflation of 4% as it was made necessary, it was made compulsory, which is mandated in the flexible inflation targeting, that is FIT. Okay, so error was in C. So why it will be mandated? Because the sentence says as it has been made compulsory or as it was made compulsory. In that case, it should be as mandated. Clear? I've given a replacement of that and explained in a better manner. Otherwise, there is no solid reason to say why it is mandated, but if you replace it with something else, you will come to know that it should be mandated, as mandated in the flexible inflation time. Means it's mentioned there, For example, the rules are laid down in the constitution, laid down by the constitution. So in that way, it's mandated in the flexible inflation targeting FIT. Clear? Okay, next question. The inflation situation could aggravate further in the second wave of the pandemic on account of the lockdown with disruptions in the supply chain. Okay, the inflation situation could, so with could we use V1, so it should be aggravated. So the inflation situation could aggravate, sorry, not aggravates, I'll just rub it, wait. It should be V1, right? So it should be could aggravate, because it should be V1. With any modal auxiliary we use V1. So this inflation situation could aggravate further in the second wave of the pandemic. So the inflation situation would aggravate means become bad, become worse, will become worse further in the second wave of the pandemic on account of the lockdown with disruptions in the supply chain. Okay, clear? Okay, next question, students. We have 4 questions of error spotting. The central bank seems to have taken to heart concerns that allows top executives of banks to become too entrenched in their positions, aids and abets poor governance. Okay, what's the meaning of entrenched? Means established. So the central bank seems to have taken to heart concerns that allows top executives of banks to become, okay, this is the error. See, the central bank seems to have taken to heart concerns that allowing top executives of banks to become too entrenched in their positions aids and abets poor governance. Okay, it's a question which needs a great explanation, I would say, because how would I convince you that it should be allowing? Only because I know the answer? No, that should not be the correct method. I should be able to explain you the answer. Why it should be allowing? It should be allowing. Okay, why? Let us see why. Well, it comes with reading habit that you come to know that it should be allowing, but let us understand why it should be allowing. The central bank seems to have taken to heart concerns that, okay, till here it says The central bank seems to have taken to heart concerns that, so taken to heart, comma, it should be comma actually, concerns that allowing top executives of banks to become too entrenched in their positions aids and abets. So this is a verb, we can replace it with one verb also. Abets means helping in crime. So the central bank seems to have taken to heart concerns that allowing top executives of banks to become too entrenched, too established in their position helps. Let us make it as helps poor governance. That aids poor governance. Okay. So this way we can see that this is basically a process that is going on. So in that case, we can replace it with any other word. The central bank seems to have taken to heart concerns that managing top executives of banks, allowing top executives of banks, facilitating top executive of banks to become. So to become will be in support with this word allowing. So I can say, like, I'll give you parallel examples that will make your life easier. Like managing top executives of bank to become too entrenched in their positions helps or aids poor governance. So this is the best explanation I can give you, but we'll come back to the question. In the meantime, I'll think over why it should be allowing. So we'll come back to this question. Let me mark this question as star. Okay. But I think with parallel examples, you are convinced enough, but I'll come back to the question. Okay. Banking is a cyclical business that needs a seasoned hand at the helm, and it is therefore difficult to muster concrete arguments on an ideal tenure that will strike the correct balance between having an experienced CEO and reining in his excessive influence over decision making. Banking is a cyclical business that needs a seasoned hand. Seasoned hand means experienced hand. Okay. So banking is a cyclical business that needs a seasoned hand at the helm. Helm means at the front. So banking is a cyclical business that needs a seasoned hand, experienced hand at the helm, at the front. Okay. And it is therefore difficult to muster concrete arguments on an ideal tenure. Okay. Difficult to muster concrete arguments. Muster means what? Means collect concrete arguments on an ideal tenure that will strike the correct balance between having an experienced CEO and reining in his excessive influence over decision making. No error. There's no error in this question, students. Okay. If you feel there is an error, you can write in the comment box. I'll come back to you. Okay. Comment box. Okay. We'll come back to this question. Question number 3. So moving ahead. Now we have a rearrangement question. Rearrangement, that is para-jumble basically, I would say, because further we'll have rearrangement question. This is a para-jumble question. Let us solve this question. The then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton launched the 100 Women Initiative, empowering women and girls through international exchanges. Let me make it very clear. I have not memorized the answer of this, so I'll be solving it with you. So let us do it together. So I'll try my level best to give the correct. I know the answer, of course, but I have not solved this question. So I'll tell you the methodology by which I'll reach the answer. So okay. So I'll attempt it as you are attempting, just the way you are attempting. I'll do it like this. So the then secretary. So the then secretary represents a system in which at a particular moment in past there was a secretary of state Hillary Clinton. So this cannot be the first sentence. Okay. Further, charities such as Oxfam have run extensive IWD activity. Many celebrities and business leaders actively support the day. Okay. Further charities cannot be the first sentence, of course. 2011 saw the 100-year centenary of International Women's Day, with the first IWD event held exactly 100 years ago in 1911 in Austria. Okay. So Denmark, Germany and Switzerland. So what happened in 2011? It witnessed the 100-year centenary of International Women's Day, with the first IWD event held exactly 100 years ago in 1911 in Austria, Denmark, Germany and Switzerland. This is bound to be the first sentence. Let us assume this is the first sentence. In the United States, President Barack Obama proclaimed March 2011 to be Women's History Month, calling Americans to mark IWD by reflecting the first IWD. D can be the first sentence as well. Also, so this cannot be the first sentence. So we have a fight between C and D. Let us assume that, not assume, we will just check between C and D which can be the first sentence. Okay. So C is the first, C we have assumed as the first sentence. Presumed, not assumed, presumed. So in the United States, President Barack Obama proclaimed March 2011 to be Women's History Month, calling Americans to mark IWD by reflecting on the International Women's Day, reflecting on the extraordinary accomplishments of women in shaping the country's history. Okay, so this has happened earlier because it witnessed the 100-year centenary of International Women's Day, and in this way, in the United States, President Barack Obama proclaimed March 2011 to be okay. Chronologically, this happens earlier because exactly it was held in 1911 has been mentioned in C. So chronologically, the first introduction was given in C. So C should be the first sentence. Okay. Now let us see. So 2011 saw the 100-year centenary of International Women's Day with the first IWD event held exactly 100 years ago in 1911 in Austria, Denmark, Germany and Switzerland. Anyway, Barack Obama will announce it in 2011. But it happened in 1911 in Austria, Denmark, Germany and Switzerland. So C is the first sentence. Okay. So in C what says that first Women Day was held exactly 100 years ago and 2011 saw the 100-year centenary. Then what happened? Also in the United Kingdom, celebrity activist Annie Lennox led a march across one of London's iconic bridges, raising awareness in support for the global charity Women for Women International. So I guess CE should be the second sentence. I'll tell you why. Because this happened, the celebration happened in 2011, the 100-year celebration, and in parallel to that, also in the United Kingdom, celebrity activist Annie Lennox led, because here what happens? And in this happens what? Also in the United Kingdom, Austria, Denmark, Germany, and this happened. Also in the United Kingdom, celebrity activist Annie Lennox had led a march across one of the London's iconic bridges, raising awareness in support for the global charity Women for Women's International. Okay, so 2011, the then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton launched the 100 Women Initiative, empowering women and girls through international exchanges. So A can be the third sentence. I'll explain very wonderfully, don't worry. Let me first try it out. So the then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton launched, the then means 2011, the then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton launched the 100 Women Initiative, empowering women and girls through international exchanges. Okay, CEA. D. In the United States, President Barack Obama proclaimed CEAD B for the charities. So let us see one hint over here. Further charities. This is a hint over here. Any charity hint? Okay, fine. Let us start again. I think I am visible. So, the first sentence is C. 2011 saw the 100-year centenary of International Women's Day with the first IWD event held exactly 100 years ago in 1911 in Austria, Denmark, Germany and Switzerland. Also in the United Kingdom, celebrity activist Annie Lennox led a march across one of London's iconic bridges, raising awareness in support for the global charity Women for Women International. Okay, so I have said CE is the pair. Then what comes is B. Further charities such as Oxfam have run extensive IWD activities. Many celebrities and business leaders actively support the day. So CEB is the correct order. Let me say. CEB. Why B? I'll tell you. Also, in what is happening, raising awareness in support for the global charity Women for. So further charities such as. So here we have got the word charity. So in relation to this, EB is the third sentence. So CEB, 100%. Because in E it says, also in the United Kingdom, celebrity activist Annie Lennox led a march across one of London's iconic bridges, raising awareness in support for the global charity Women for Women International. So then comes further charities such as Oxfam have run extensive IWD activity. Many celebrities and business leaders actively support the day. So CEB. Now comes D and A. We have to place D and A. In the United States, President Barack Obama. Okay, so this is the last sentence, 100%. So A should come after B. And D is the last sentence. So I think you have got the idea. We have find one clue that will help us. One clue. Charity, global charity, and further charities. Because further charities will strengthen our point. One charity is here and further charities. So we have got like EB is a pair, EB is 100% a pair. So what's the relation between C and E? We have understood that. So CEB is a pair, then we have to place A and D somewhere. So D comes at the last because it is a proclamation of Barack Obama about 2011 to be Women's History Month. So it should be the CEBAD. I think you are not convinced, but I am very much convinced with my answer. So let me delete everything and come back to you. So it was actually standing here and seeing that the screen is a bit difficult, but I'll make it easy. So this is the first sentence. You are convinced. I'm sure you are convinced. Okay. The next sentence it says, because over here it was being celebrated 100 years ago, exactly 100 years ago, and now it is being 2011 witnessed it. Also in the United Kingdom, activist Annie Lennox led a march across one of the London's iconic bridges, raising awareness in support for the global charity Women for Women's International. So this charity is followed by further charities. So CEB. And after B, extensive IWD. Many celebrities and business leaders actively support the day. And then comes the then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton launched this is supporting the day, right? Supporting the day. So 100 Women Initiative, empowering women and girls through international exchanges. So CEBA, and D comes in the United States, President Barack Obama declared whatever. This is the correct order. It was a bit difficult, I know, but we solved it finally, right? And this is the answer actually. So let us move ahead. So we have filler questions, okay? Okay, so Wall Street brokerage Goldman Sachs has lowered its dash for India's economy growth to 11.1% in the fiscal year to March 31, 2022. We have to return to that question, remember, that star question. We have to return to that, okay. So Wall Street brokerage Goldman Sachs has lowered its dash for India's economy growth to 11.1% in the first. So, okay, has lowered. So Goldman Sachs has lowered its what? For India's economy growth to 11.1% in the first fiscal year to March 31, 2022. So Goldman Sachs has lowered its means its own, Goldman Sachs apostrophe. So its estimate for India's economy growth to 11.1%. This is the best answer, expectation. Okay, I'm sorry. So this is the best answer. It's expectation for India's economy growth. So Goldman Sachs expects the economy of India to grow to 11.1% in the fiscal year to March 31, 2022. So misconception for India's economy growth does not make a sense. So this is 100% not correct. It should be something like expectation or desire, this kind of word should be there. So belief, okay, Wall Street brokerage, Goldman Sachs has lowered its belief. Lowering belief is not correct, I guess. Lowering expectation is the best word. So conception means the idea that you have in your mind. So I have a conception, right? It can be misconception, it's a conception. Conception is an idea in the mind. This is not the correct answer. Estimate and expectation can be correct, but you cannot lower the estimate. You can lower the expectation. So this is the best answer. Expectation is the correct answer. Fine. Okay. The income dash on account of significant economic presence of a foreign entity in India is taxable in India. The income dash on account of significant economic presence. On account of means with the help of or in relation to. Okay. So the income dash on account of significant economic presence of a foreign entity in India is taxable in India. So if a foreign entity is present in India, its taxability will depend on its economic presence, and that is taxable. Okay. So the income attributable, Accenture, independent, autocratic, exempted. See, this word attributable, what does it mean? Let us understand the meaning of each word. Attributable means related to the attributes. So if we say the income attributable on account of significant economic presence, attributable on, independent on. So I think the income attributable on account of, so this is the best answer I have. I can prove the rest answers are wrong. Okay. Accenture means, if I say Accenture, it is related to the articulation. Accenture is related to articulation. So that's not the correct answer. Independent, the income independent on account of significant economic presence. This is not correct. Autocratic means related to autocracy, means one power, one centralized power. Exempted on account of significant economic presence of a foreign entity in India is taxable in India. So attributable means related to. I am unsure about Accenture, but I'll come back to you. Give me some time to break the word, because I have this habit of breaking the word and finding the meaning. I think Accenture can be broken like culture. So cult plus TURE, culture. So related to a cult, and TUR is the break of that. So I'll break Accenture as accent and TURE. So culture means, cult means believing a system. A particular system is cult. For example, he's a cult figure. Let me be very honest with you. So cult figure, and related to that is culture. So, believing a particular cult is a culture. This way, so cult means, and believing that is TURE. So Accenture means articulation. I'm not sure if I'm right, but just check it once when you do it. Accenture is like accent plus TURE. So an accent is what? Accent is articulation, right? So you are able to articulate well. So I'm sure that's the right answer. I'm sure. Well, so attributable means the income attributable on account of significant economic presence. The income which is related to. So that's the correct answer. Accountable. Okay. Attributable. And independent on account of significant economic presence. So in relation to or because of the economic presence. Because of the economic presence is attributable basically. Related to attributes of something. Clear? Okay. That's the answer. Moving ahead. Considering that the dash has been kept quite low, many non-residents would come under the ambit of significant economic presence. Okay. Ambit means coverage, domain, coverage. Okay. So considering that the dash has been kept quite low, amount, threshold, aggregate, tariff, expense, all are very close words. So today's fillers are really tough. You understand that, right? Because I have to face a lot of challenge in explaining it to you why it should be that way, right? Okay, but it's very fun. I understand that. So considering that, okay, you know, it's so wonderful to break a word and find the meaning. If you remember when we started the class, not this one I guess, but the focus circle when we started. In that case, I told a story to students that I got a word called onism. ONISM. A student asked me, what is the meaning of onism? Tell me. Just out of the box, he came and asked me a question. One fine morning, he came and he said, what's the meaning of onism? So I said, on plus ism. So ism is belief system, like Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, ism, Fabianism. It's a belief system. So on is the only word that can be broken. On plus ism. So on means keeping something on another, right? Onism. So onism means the belief that there is always something which we don't know and we can keep on our head. It's always something we don't know. So onism meant that. So the belief system that whatever we know is not sufficient and there is always beyond something, that. So that was correct in my case. I was very happy because I could answer the question. So that way I tried extension. I'm very sure, might be wrong, but I have tried my best. Okay. So this way, most of the times if you don't know the meaning of words, you can break and try to find if it's a noun, it makes your life easier, or an adjective for that matter. Okay. So considering that the dash has been kept quite low, many non-residents would come under the ambit of significant economic presence. Okay. So when we consider that the dash has been kept quite low. Dash means there should, let us guess a word. Kept low, quite low. Many non-residents would come under the ambit of significant economic presence. So significant economic presence means they have value of their assets. They have their economic presence in India. Many residents would have their economic presence in India. That way the dash has been kept quite low. The threshold is a good word. Tariff is tax, cannot be the answer because we're talking about non-residents. So threshold means the basic minimum, Amount is very average, general word, so it cannot be the answer. Aggregate is like total, sum total of. So because the threshold is either kept high or low, we'll have threshold as the answer. Expense is like what is spent. So threshold is the correct answer. We'll write here threshold. Okay, consider that the threshold, the minimum level, the basic level, the entry level has been kept low. Many residents would find themselves in special significant economic presence. Getting my point? Is it clear? Okay. Next one. Again, it's a tough one. Let me try. Okay. Though the residents of treaty countries can claim the beneficial dash of a treaty, non-treaty jurisdictions and non-residents not eligible for treaty benefit may have to review their position on taxability and compliances. Okay, let's take this challenge. So though the residents of treaty countries, although the residents of treaty countries can claim the beneficial dash of a treaty. So beneficial compensation does not make any sense. Beneficial compensation. It is 100. I can see the answer. You know the answer, right? So provisions is the answer. So beneficial provisions means beneficial facilities, amenities, prerogatives, special benefits given to some people. So prerogatives, provisions, benefits, amenities. That is the answer. Okay. The beneficial elements of a treaty. Treaty is wrong because any treaty means an agreement which gives some benefits or provisions. So accounting is incorrect. So I think we have found the answer, provisions. Customs is like practices or rituals. So that's the answer, provisions. I think we have got the answer, correct? Okay. RBI has started on corporate governance dash at private banks, but the approach is piecemeal. Okay. RBI has started on corporate governance. Is it clear to you? RBI has started on corporate governance dash at private banks, but the approach is piecemeal. Okay. So to find the blank over here, we need to understand the meaning of piecemeal. What a paradox, right? Because you need to know the meaning of piecemeal, you would be able to fill the blank only if you know the meaning of piecemeal. So let us try. RBI has started on the corporate governance dash at private banks, but the approach is piecemeal. So let us see, because it's a contradiction, but. So RBI started on corporate governance dash at private banks. Okay, corporate governance, RBI has started on corporate governance means governing the corporate world. Corporate governance gains, advantages, operations, overhaul, none of the above. Okay. So we can see gains and advantages are almost same. Operations is different. Overhaul means examination. Examination. So RBI started on corporate governance overhaul at private banks, but the approach is piecemeal. So what can be the meaning of piecemeal? So let's break it, okay. PIEC is piece, a part of something, and meal is like food. So the approach is piecemeal means not complete, but it's a part. Approach is piecemeal. So RBI started on corporate governance dash at private banks. Corporate governance operations at private banks. Started on corporate governance operations at private banks, but the approach is piecemeal. So this is the best answer, I think. It's the correct answer. You can agree with me, disagree with me if you want, because corporate governance operations is the best way to governance operation at private banks, but the approach is piecemeal. They want the RBI wants a corporate governance operations, but the approach is staggered, broken. Okay, if we say advantages, gains, both are similar, so we cannot have a choice between these two. These two are related. Overhaul means examination. So examination and operations. Okay, examination means perusal. So RBI started on corporate governance perusal, that is overhaul at private banks, but the approach is piecemeal. See, this is at. Operations is followed by at. Operations at something, right? Operation at private banks. So operations means what? The running of the governance of the particular office. So if I say, I've started my operations at my office. I've started my work, modus operandi. Please understand this. So overhaul cannot be followed by at. Overhaul of private banks. Please understand this. So the answer is operations 100%. See, I'm not enacting this. I'm really solving in front of you. Trust me. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, now we have spelling errors. It will be very easy for all of us. So since 2014, the banking sector has witnessed witnessed. Witnessed. No spelling error. Witnessed since 2014, the banking sector has witnessed the adoption of the JAM, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and Mobile Trinity, and the issuance of licenses to payments banks and small finance banks, SFBs, to achieve last mile connectivity in the financial inclusion drive. The adoption is wrong word. It should be adoption. It can either be adoption or adaptation. So adaptation is not suitable here because the banking sector has witnessed the adoption of the JAM, means acceptance. Understand this. So it should be adoption. Fine. Moving ahead. No more research is required in this. India's engagement on this front with Asian could be hugely beneficial. Correct spelling, engagement correct spelling, seamless correct spelling, incentivize correct spelling. Okay, you may be confused with INCE and TIVIZE. Both are correct. So we have to follow the British rule. That's SE will be the correct answer, not ZE. ZE is American side. So we follow the British English as a reference. So all the spellings are correct. So all are correct. Fine. Let's see. Companies permitted this week to conduct trials for the use of 5G technology. Okay, it's a rearrangement. We have to rearrange. We have written rearrangement over here. It's not a spelling or a common error. It's a rearrangement. Fine. So it is very easy because last time also we did some questions based on it. So there's a hint that helps us and we can easily identify the option. Clear? Okay. Companies permitted this week to conduct trials for the use of 5G technology. China expressed concern and regret at India's move to not include Chinese telecommunication firms among the companies permitted this 5G technology. Okay. China expressed concern and regret at India's move not to include Chinese telecom firms amongst the companies permitted this week. So among the companies, that's the hint. So DA, DA, where is DA? Last one. DA is here. Let us check. We'll check B. This is the answer, 100%. This is the answer. Because we have DA, we have connected. Include Chinese telecom communication firms among the companies permit. So DA is a correct option. So DA we found over here. This is the answer again. We'll check BC. China expressed concern and regret at India's move to not include Chinese telecommunication firms among the companies permitted this week to conduct trials for the use of 5G technology. I won't do much research on this, please. So BCDA is the correct answer. Okay, I think you're enjoying the session because you know we are doing our best. Both of us, you and I, we both are doing our best. So let's move ahead. The next question. It would again be the easier one, I guess. 18 to 51 in political empowerment of women and okay. This happened despite having a great in just one year India. Okay, very easy. India fell from 18 to 51. That is ranking, right? In political empowerment of women and so there should be like CA. CA is an order. So let us see where is CA. Here it is CA. Here it is CA. Let's check CABD. So C is what? In just, no, so that cannot be the answer. It should be BDC. I'm sure this should be the answer. Let us check again otherwise. In just 1 year, India fell from 18 to 51 in political empowerment of women and BDCA. And BDCA. Okay. This happened despite, no. Let us go back. So we can see in just one India fell from, so this is 100%, CA is a pair, 100%. So we have options like CABD and BDCA. So let us check CABD. In just 1 year, India fell from 18 to 51 political empowerment of women and this happened. Okay, my God, this is the answer. What a stupidity I'm doing. See, in just 1 year, India fell from 18 to 15 political empowerment of women and this happened despite having a great opportunity to get better women participation in political decisions. Is it clear? Okay. Next question. Okay, we'll find the hint. Okay. Since polling for the assembly election got over, people hoped the government would begin taking effective steps aimed at avoiding human suffering after recovering from the election fatigue. What is this? No rearrangement required. You can see that. See, since polling for the assembly election got over, people hoped that the government would begin taking effective steps. Government would begin taking effective steps aimed at avoiding human suffering after recovering from the election fatigue. No rearrangement required. It's fine. Perfect. Next question. As I step out of the Howrah railway station on the first day, the city of joy welcomes me of the scorching month of May. Okay, Howrah railway station on the first day of the scorching month of May, the city of joy welcomes me. Okay, how would you solve this question? Let us see. As I step out of the Howrah railway station on the first day, the city of joy welcomes me of the scorching month. Bilkul. Fine. Okay, so the answer is like it starts from A. We have only one option, ACDB. Let's check. As I step out of the ABC, I'll step out no, it's not the correct answer. Then we can have Howrah railway station on the first day, B, C, D, A. Is it right? A, B, C. as Howrah Station railway station on the first day, the city of joy welcomes me. Okay, let us check these two answers. BCDA, BDAC. Let us check. So BCDA, Howrah railway station on the first day. On the first day, the city of joy doesn't make a sense. So BDAC, Howrah railway station on the first day of the scorching month of May. Yeah. So B, D, A, C. Don't kill me for that. We are taking some time, right? We need to give some time to this. Okay. So Howrah railway station on the first day of the scorching month of May. D. As I step out of the city of joy, as I step out, the city of joy welcomes me. So this is redundant actually. We shouldn't have kept it over here. As I step out, so Howrah railway station on the first day of the scorching month of May, as I step out of the city of joy welcomes me. So Howrah railway station on the first day of the scorching month of May. Let me try. We have options. We'll check all the options. BCDA. So BCDA is what? Howrah railway station on the first day. The city of joy welcomes me. No, it's not working. ACDB. No arrangement required. ACDB. As I step out of the AC. I step out of okay. As I step out of the city of joy welcomes me. That's not correct. This is also incorrect. BDAC. Howrah railway station on the first day of the scorching month of May. As I step out of the city of joy welcomes me. Doesn't make sense. CABD. The city of joy welcomes me as I step out of the Howrah railway station on the first day of scorching. I know you must be answering on the YouTube live chat. This is the answer. We have checked all the options. So CABD is the correct answer. So we'll finally say it is the city of joy welcomes me as I step out of the Howrah railway station on the first day of the scorching month of May. Yes, that's the correct answer. Very good, students. Very good. So that's the correct answer. CABD. Fine. This is a tricky question. So let us move ahead. Well, we'll solve it very fast. I'll compensate for the previous question. Okay. So, and we are now led by money and political manipulators. Society has rejected unreasonable religiosity, them out of mainstream discourses and belief-based ideologies and thrown them out. Thrown them out. DC. Thrown them out of the mainstream discourses. So DC is a pair. DC, no DC. So ABDC. And we are now led by money and political manipulators. No BDCA. Okay. Society has rejected unreasonable religiosity. BDCA. And belief-based ideologies and thrown them out of mainstream discourses, and now we are now led by money and political manipulators. So this is the answer. BDCA is the answer. Clear? This is very easy actually because we found the pair as DC, right? DC was a pair because thrown them out of the mainstream. You understand that, right? So let us move ahead. I think one more question or thank you. No, thank you. We have to go back. We have to go back to the start question. I think we have some time left. We'll go back to start question. Yeah, this was the question. So I was about to explain to you why it should be allowing. Already I give you parallel examples, do you remember, right? So the central bank seems to have taken to heart concerns that allows top executives of banks to become too entrenched in their positions aids and abets poor governance. So let me make it very clear to you why it is like this. I'll move this side. You may not be able to see me totally, but let us solve this way. The central government bank seems to have taken to heart concerns that helping, managing, we will remove some part of the sentence. Allows them, we'll move them, we'll write them, okay. The central bank allowing them to become too entrenched their positions helps poor governance or aids poor governance. Let's write aids, AIDS. AIDS means helps, okay. So the sentence becomes the central bank allowing them to become too entrenched in their position aids poor governance. So now I think you have got the gist why I'm deleted all these sentences in between, because the central bank allowing them. So this is basically the main verb, which is in the form of, I should say it's a participle form. This way it should be used. So I think I've been quite successful in explaining this to you, although it was not required to that extent, but fine, no problem in that, right? So let us move ahead and end the session for today. The best was this rearrangement thing. We struggled a lot, but we finally got the answer. So students, I think you enjoyed the session a lot. Thank you so much.